This is Will's Band of the Week for December 25th, 2016. Hello and welcome to another edition of Will's Band of the Week. This is Will, along with Grant live in studio.
Hello.
And Craig from the Ipswich Bureau.
I'm here. Hello.
Now that is cool, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, International Best of 2016 podcast.
Right. We're putting out so much content in these last 3 weeks that it's going to take people a while to sift through it all. But that's cool, right?
Totally. They'll have to make their own list of like the best end of the year podcasts, and it'll get really meta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the composite list of everyone's lists.
I tried to do that last year. I sort of did it. And this year, man, we could take all of the lists and put them together. I'm really not sure if I feel like doing that. It's too much work. So, I don't know. I might. We will probably skip next week because we're busy and because we got to give people time to digest all these end-of-year podcasts. But we might have a few other little end-of-year type things, and then we'll ease our way into January and 2017 and all the excitement of next year, right?
Yeah, very chill.
Yep.
I already know this will be my last appearance on the podcast, though. As it will become clear as the lists come out, mine does not agree 100% with Will's. Mm-hmm. So that's me done. I've been fired.
Yeah, that's a egregious violation of your contract.
Yeah,
but
must agree with Will at all times.
Yeah, that is a problem. We'll discuss that off the record, and maybe we'll figure out some kind of probation we can put you on or something. I don't know.
Okay.
You might have
stay of execution.
You'll probably need to hire legal counsel, and we'll probably, but we'll do all that behind the scenes, and let's just leave the fun for the listeners. And all this backroom bickering and stuff, let's leave them out of that.
Okay, yeah.
All right, now, we have lots of great music, and this is just so fun. But I think before we get to the music, I think Craig is going to give us a top live shows of the year report, right?
I can do that, yeah. I'm prepared. I'm going to skip quite quickly through it and then focus mostly on the best because that's most interesting.
Okay.
But I think we ought to have the jingle.
Yeah, we have to have that. Now that's got everybody in the mood to think about and talk about the best shows of 2016.
2016. Okay, so I'll go in reverse order, and I'll go quite quickly through them so we're not dwelling on this too much. I think number 5 here I had Teenage Fanclub, and that was at the Waterfront in Norwich. About an 800-person venue, but it was, what you'd say, half full or half empty, depending how you wanted to view it. Mm-hmm. Not too many people there on a Monday night for them. This is kind of Norwich is kind of tucked away in the corner of the country. I imagine when they played in the bigger cities, they would have had much better crowds. But still, it was great. One of my friends commented on Facebook about a different show on the same tour that you can't really get a better atmosphere at a live show. It's just everyone was... Norman Blake in the centre of the stage there with the other two singers either side of him was smiling the whole time, and it was just really warming and kind of nice atmosphere.
I saw them also in October on I think a Sunday night. And it was kind of similar here, where it was probably half full or so, but very enthusiastic crowd. Yeah, and he seemed like he was having so much fun. And it just seemed like there's no way he's faking that. Sometimes these artists that have been around for so long, and especially if they haven't put out any new music for a long time, they're just playing the same stuff. And sometimes you just wonder about the sincerity of their enthusiasm.
Yeah, like how do they play a song they wrote 30 years ago and still like mean it?
And they've played it, 1,000 times or more. But I think, Norman Blake, he's convincing, don't you think?
Yeah, I think they haven't played so much. I think because maybe they started in around 94 or something. Here we are. I said we wouldn't dwell on things, and we're already going into depth. But they started in the early 90s, maybe. But they haven't toured so much in the last 5 or 6 years. But even so, they've played the songs hundreds of times, no doubt. Yeah, I think they're just really pleased to have a good new album out and going around the country. It's very nice.
Yes, very cool.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Number 4. This was Beach Slang, also in Norwich, a little venue called the Owl Sanctuary. And there must have been about 20 people there for them. I think it was also a Monday night. But I have never... I think I may have talked about this on the podcast before. When we left, we were just smiling ear to ear at just how hilarious the gig had been. Because the front man, who I think we've said is in his 50s or something. I don't know how old he is.
No, he's not that old. I think he's 42 or something like that.
He bounces around on stage like a teenager in a velvet jacket with pin buttons down the lapels on both sides. Like hundreds of pin buttons of all different kinds of bands and things. And he's just really funny. His interactions with the crowd were hilarious. So, and the music is very lively too, as anyone who's heard the band will know. So. Yeah.
Very cool. That's one on my list that I have not seen, but I want to.
Yeah, highly recommended. Now, number 3 is, this is a very embarrassing one. I think we'll just skip quickly through this. The Super Furry Animals and Manic Street Preachers at the Liberty Stadium in Swansea. Now, this is where Swansea City Football Club play their home games.
So that's got to be big, right?
Yeah, massive. The Manic Street Preachers are from South Wales, so they get a big crowd whenever, but... this was a special, our 20th anniversary of one of their albums. They were celebrating, and Will and I have discussed before how embarrassing the Manic Street Preachers are. And in the States, they're completely ignored these days.
Yeah, pretty much.
These days they always were, I think. But here, they can still get a good crowd. And if you're going to see, that band, they just play mainstream rock anthems, and to see that pulled off in front of 35,000 people, however many it was, you can't really. It's a great experience. Not really my cup of tea always, but if it's pulled off well, then it can be fun.
Yeah, cool. Stadium gig.
Yeah. Then we go a bit smaller. The number 2 was the Chills, which was the night before. On the way over to Swansea, we stopped off in Cardiff to see the Chills. I think I discussed this on the podcast earlier in the year as well. They're just a great live band and playing their hits from down the years. Again, another band really enjoying playing songs that are 30 years old. And then number 1 was Proto Martyr and Eagles. Now, I should know. You two guys will know all about Proto Martyr.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah.
And this was... I'd seen them a couple of times before and hadn't really enjoyed them, even though I like the records a lot. But on this occasion, I think, it was the first time I'd seen them live where I thought they were really good. I was right down... There's a venue called the New Adelphi in Hull. And I went with some friends who are from that area, part of the country, the northeast. And they said, this is just a house on a terraced street. I said, no, that can't be the venue. It must be like an arts centre on the street. No, it's a house. It's just, they call it the New Adelphi. You think it's going to be some proper venue, but there's just a bar in what would be the living room and then a stage at the other end, and you just all cram in there. And it was really, really, really loud and exciting. And Eagles were good as well, so it made it a good night.
Very cool.
There we go.
It's good to see Proto Martyr at the top of any list.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so we saw them in November. And I was amazed that they can sort of sound fresh to me, having seen them now 4 times. They
that was my 4th time as well, and I still got the full experience. Was not let down at all.
Yeah, I think you mentioned. I think you reviewed it when you did a podcast together at one of the Grants Underground, and you said I stole a set list from this gig in Hull because I thought they were playing new stuff too. And I don't know what they played in Madison, obviously, because I wasn't there. But the stuff wasn't new. It was from the first album and some EPs that they played in Hull. So it's like discovering a new side of the band. I'd never listened to those records, and since then I've gone back. So that may have been the case in Madison too, I don't know.
Right, I haven't listened to the first album very much at all, and so I think that might have been the case. They were just songs that I didn't know very well, and they probably decided they're just going to mix it up and play some of the old stuff.
I think I discovered a song on their first album called Feral Cats. That's sort of a
that's a great one, yeah.
It's a staple of their live set now, and there's so many different aspects to them and sides that you see seeing them live versus just on record. It's pretty awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. Hopefully there'll be more from them in 2017.
Yeah, hope so. Okay, I think we're ready for the music lists now. I keep saying this is going to be fun, and I'm going to say it again. This is going to be fun. So,
All right.
I hope it lives up to your billing.
yeah, I hope so. Well, let's see. I have your playlists here in alphabetical order. Craig comes before Grant, so that means Craig gets to go first. What is the 10th best album of 2016? Craig.
Officially or unofficially?
Well, according to you, you can
According
give
to me.
whatever. Yeah, you can.
There was
declare.
number 10 is always difficult. Well, we'll talk about more of this as we go, but for me, the 6 through 10 doesn't really matter the order too much, but then once you get to the top 5, it's more serious. But in any case, number 10, I've got Eleanor Friedberger and her album New View. I've chosen the track Your Word.
Eleanor Friedberger. That's Craig's number 10 album of 2016.
So a bit of a theme I have going here is, I think it's something that's been touched on the podcast in recent weeks as well. When you see a band live, it helps you to, well, it should or could help you to understand the records a bit better. So maybe you can't get into an album or you don't really see where a band's coming from, and then you see the songs live and you think, okay, so it makes more sense to me now. I think that was a case here. This isn't as consistent as a previous album, Personal Record, but I still think she's a very good lyricist, and some good songs on there. Perhaps 60-70% of it's quite good.
I found it to be pretty consistent, and it's one, this is a common theme for today. A whole bunch of things that you guys have on your lists, I say to myself, I'm glad somebody put that on their list. So, yeah, this is a good one. Eleanor Friedberger, formerly, or I don't know if it's still current or not, but the Fiery Furnaces, that was her band with her brother, right?
Yeah, I think so. I never really got into them, but apparently they were quite good.
Yeah, I didn't really either. All right, Grant, what's the 10th best album of 2016?
Well, the 10th best album of 2016 by objective standards is Ton Star by Earring. And I've selected the track Black Chalk.
Earring. That's Grant's number 10 album of 2016.
So these guys are a two-piece, fuzzy, noisy guitar rock band, and I listen to a lot of music like that, so I sort of needed something about them to stand out, to like put effort into listening to it, and the fact that they're from Chicago sort of motivated me to try the album more times than I normally would, because they're sort of local. But I ended up really liking it. I think it strikes somewhere in between like blues rock and drone. Like they just stretched out the rock passages to a point where it becomes like really sort of hypnotic and meditative, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that as I listened to that. It's a soundscape that like puts you in a different world.
Totally.
Yep. All right. That's Earring, Grant's number 10.
Best band with earring in their name since Golden Earring.
Exactly. Very good observation.
I've never heard of that one.
Oh, they're well, you should look them up after.
Sure.
I think from the Netherlands. No, they aren't good. I'm joking.
I kind of assume that. They're like a 38 special type band or something.
Grant's probably never heard Radar Love, right?
No, I have not.
Oh my god.
I was singing it to myself earlier.
Yeah,
probably because I saw Earring on Grant's list and I was just walking around.
All right. Craig, number 9. Another
Officially,
one. And
the 9th best album.
Another one that I'm glad somebody picked.
Now, this is funny because if you call your album masterpiece, you start lining yourself up for a bit of a fall, but, well, I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece, but it's good enough to make the 9th best of 2016. This is Big Thief, who I think are from Brooklyn, possibly?
Sounds
the
right.
The home of indie rock.
Right.
It's a funny, at times it's unbelievably epic, the album. I mean, I don't really, I like, quiet indie jangly things, as will come on to the top of the list, but so I don't even know why I like this, but this is something about it. It grabbed me anyway. I think I picked track 8, Humans.
That's Big Thief, Craig's number 9 album of 2016. Masterpiece.
This was one of those cases where my build-up was not illustrated. The song did not illustrate the things I was saying. But anyway.
Yeah, we do that all the time, don't we?
Yeah. That one wasn't particularly epic or anything, but sometimes the album is epic.
Right. There's a lot of good stuff on that album. And they're coming to Madison next month as part of the Frozen Fest, which is a kind of a little mini music festival thing that a local promoter puts on in January. So might have to go see them.
Yeah, let me know if you do.
All right, Grant, what is the 9th best album of 2016?
The 9th best album is Post-Classical World by Tangerine. And we're going to play the song Lovers in Order.
Tan Korean. That's one word spelled like a person from Korea with a suntan.
Yep. That's Ulysses from the band Hallier Ulysses. And I don't know if I can really like pin this down as one genre, but I like it for a similar reason that I like Earring, is that you can kind of listen to it as like a song that you're giving really close attention to, or as like an ambient thing that's kind of calming. And I think he does a lot with a little. It's pretty like lo-fi minimalist. I think most of it's made with just like presets on like a Casio keyboard, something like that. But yeah, I just ended up really liking this album.
I went to his Bandcamp page. There's like 30 things on there.
Yeah, he's super prolific. He releases like one album a week or something around that.
So Grant's doing the work for you, so find the one called Post-Classical World. That's number 9, according to Grant. All right, Craig, what is number 8?
We've got some indie rock veterans coming in.
Yep.
Here at number 8. Now, I don't know, but this is a case where I saw them live. I think it might be their weakest album since they came back. But still, the band is Dinosaur Jr. It's just so good to see them writing new music, and 60 or 70% of it's good on the album. So good, relevant music. Unlike some other bands who've come back and don't release anything new, or release stuff that's shit and doesn't compare to their heyday. At least they're still out there. And when I saw them live about 2 months ago, a bit less, and it was brilliant. That they're still cutting it as a live band, and the new songs sounded great alongside all the classic stuff from the 80s. So the album is Give a Glimpse of What You're Not. And one of the best tracks on there is Good to Know.
This J Mascis still rocking.
Yeah, I'm glad you let it run to the solo.
Yep. That's what they call shredding, right?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was saying before, I think it makes me so happy to see them still going and playing to a packed room of 2,000 people, and they're still releasing good music. So that's why I had to put them in there.
Yeah, totally. J Mascis has aged really well, like his music and his persona and stuff. Still fresh and seems authentic. Totally.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. So that song we just played there, it's a great example of later period Dinosaur Jr. Well, this might be the middle of their career, I don't know, but probably the later period.
Yeah.
That's the kind of songs that they're writing well at the moment.
Yep, very cool. My favorite story about J Mascis is the Nicholas seeing him and he couldn't see his face because it was obscured by the music stand. That's just classic. All right, let's go to Grant's number 8.
Number 8 is Horse Jumper of Love, their self-titled album. They're an indie rock band from Brooklyn. They play jazz masters and use fuzz pedals, so
that makes them good.
Makes them cool, I guess. Yeah, this song is called Ugly Brunette.
expense commercial. Kids cutting birthday cake. I'm just fine. I remember that shirt I got a bunch of bleach on it. I liked it that way too. I'm in the room that I want to have a lonely child.
Horse Jumper of Love.
Yeah.
They have some connection to Boston, according to their Bandcamp. They may have moved to Brooklyn for indie rock stardom.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, that's kind of a classic, sort of sad. There's a lot of like romantic lyrical content, but it's also self-aware, self-reflective. The lyrics and like the whole way it's organized is really well done. So that's why I put it at number 8.
Horse Jumper of Love.
It reminds me of Krill a little bit, possibly because they're the only two bands I've heard who
Yeah.
sound a bit like that. But anyway, which was, this is one of Grant's picks that I'd actually listened to. Because well, I don't know.
Cool. All right, we're up to Craig's number 7.
Okay, well, we mentioned them once already. This was Beach Slang. And Will said they almost scraped into his top 10.
Yeah, they were. It was very sad. They were number 11 on my list.
So it's good they get to feature here, number 7 in mine. The album was A Loud
Yep.
Bash of Teenage Feelings, which I think Will and I discussed the album back when it was released. And the title is inappropriate for 40-year-old men, but
Right.
many things about them are inappropriate, but I think there's some good rocking indie songs on here. And this was a good example, was Hot Tramps.
Your eyelashes shine like a plastic diamond. Your arms are on a car crash. I want to die. Your lips smashing, mine just like lost and violent. Your heart's marvelous trash. The world's forgotten. I can't love you raw enough. 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 Your mouth is wild like a pile of
Beach Slang. They definitely know how to do a wall of guitars, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just reading before we started recording that Beach Slang just hired a new drummer and guitar player. Apparently, it's just classic rock and roll. The drummer got kicked out of the band for some reason, and the guitarist quit after he was accused of assaulting somebody, I think. So,
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah, the guitars in that song sort of reminded me of Japandroids.
Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of that anthemic quality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always skeptical. Are they really the same band if you replace all the constituent parts? I guess we'll see how they come out with these new members.
Right. And here's the other thing, and I'm skeptical of this, but the article said they're going to have an album called Quiet Slang, which is going to be acoustic. So, yeah, Grant just made a skeptical face. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. But, you know...
the final track will be a piano ballad.
Right. That's right.
Maybe they'll all be piano ballads.
It could be. Yeah. Who knows? He might pull it off. He's an interesting guy, James Alex. All right, let's go to Grant's number 7.
Number 7 is Victoria band Johns, and I think I talked about them on the last podcast I was on. And I just happened to sort of binge listen to this album since it came out, so it arrived at number 7. I'm going to play the song Trip Ads.
That's Johns at work on several things. Grant's number 7.
Yeah, I remember when I heard their first album. I heard it like the year after it came out, and it was pretty lo-fi. And I was thinking, if this came out this year, it could be in my top 10. And this album is better than their first one, so it's in my top 10.
Cool. They pulled it off.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
Yep. I'm gonna make a comparison between two bands. I'm gonna say it sounds like a mix between Tame Impala and Pavement.
Yeah, I can kind of hear that.
This is what popped into my head, but I liked it too. Good album. Johns from Victoria. All right, Craig, we are up to your number 6.
I'm not even sure this is allowed, but I think, well, no, I would argue that it is. This is an EP by the Brooklyn band Patio, the luxury EP. And I just think being concise and brief and relevant is very important. So just because you've chosen to release a 5-track EP, because that's your best material, that shouldn't disqualify you from being in the top releases of the year.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with that.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. And we're getting into the part of the list now where almost all of the next things I've chosen, next 6, top 5, and this, I could have picked any track, really. Track 4 was particularly fun, but it's 33 seconds, so I think that's the one. I've chosen track 5, Takeout. Yeah.
Patio. Yeah, Grant told me about this, and I pretty much immediately told him that I liked it. But Craig, you mentioned the 30-second song, and that's so cool. I think we should play it as a bonus.
Oh, but yeah, yeah.
I mean,
let's do it. It's so good.
It's the best.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
pretty great.
This is the best 33-second track of the year, right?
Of all time.
Yeah. Now that's cool, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There's an underutilized thing that they do in that short track, and that is the drumsticks in the middle, right? Isn't that cool? You
Yeah.
just stop and you
That
do
works
the
really
drumsticks
well.
again.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. All right, that's the highest percentage of a release that we've ever played on the end of year podcast, right? We just played about 30%.
We're going to be sued now.
Right.
Patio lawyers.
We've been trying to get sued for a while now. I mean, somebody's got to sue us, right? So we get the publicity.
You'd hope so.
All right.
Right, so another reason I had to put this in there, they released a cassette tape of the EP, and it was this gold sparkly thing. And with my favourite social media caption of the year, that one of them put, "It glitters like fucking gold." It was a little... it just made me laugh so much. So anyway.
Great. All right. Grant, number 6.
Number 6 is The Hex, self-titled Chicago band, talked about on the Underground podcast. We're going to play the track Trust and Order.
The Hex, another Chicago band.
Yep. I'm totally in love with the drum sound in the intro.
Yeah,
just
that's
part of
really
why I had to
cool.
play this track. They take a lot of cues from the band Women on this album. There's like drone interludes and stuff, and a lot of similar guitar parts, but they really make it their own thing. It's like consciously more minimal, and they're I think a 2-piece for recording, but now a 3-piece live. I'm looking forward to whatever they release next. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too.
Yeah, me too. It sounded really good.
Couple notes about it. One is that I really think that if I gave it the time, and a lot of this is just, we listen to so much music and you just have to make decisions on, what are you going to listen to next. So for example, if you were listening to this and you've learned about a new Bon Iver album, you'd have to immediately stop listening to this and listen to the new Bon Iver album, right?
Duh.
Okay, maybe not, but I just think if I had given this more attention, it probably could have found itself into my top 10. The other fun thing it's a fun thing from this year is you and I challenging each other to play the drum part. Right?
Oh yeah, it's kind of difficult.
You gotta do a little
fast snare roll
thing. Yeah, you gotta do a little roll thing. Very fun. All right, the Hex, Grant's number 6. Craig, we are up to the top 5 now. This is getting exciting. I mean, it's already exciting, and now it's getting even more exciting.
Totally.
Now that all these bands are obviously listening in week by week to see, and particularly the end of year podcast, they listen in to see, and since they haven't been named in the top 5, every other band who hasn't been named so far is on the edge of their seats.
Right. Yeah.
Well, what I said was a bit of a jumble, but let's just say it's exciting.
Yeah. It's kind of like being in the audience at the Grammys. That's what the other bands are feeling right now, waiting for their award.
Right.
Hoping.
Yeah. Yep.
Hoping. Okay, and number 5, we have the Goon Sax, Up to Anything. They come from, I'm now calling it the Brooklyn of the Southern Hemisphere, Melbourne.
Right.
In Australia. I think I probably had 2 bands from Melbourne on my list last year. Not to give anything away about later, but... So this... I started listening to this quite late in the year. I'm not even sure when it came out, but it was because my friend saw them in Leeds on their UK tour, and he said there were people there who'd been waiting for the Smiths to reform since 1988 or 1986, and since they haven't, this is the next best thing. And they were just dancing around like mad people. And I'm sure there have been bands similar to the Smiths since the 80s, but for some reason, some of the tracks on this album do sound very similar. But I'm kind of bored of that indie mopey stuff. Don't really want to listen to that all the time, and so this album is good because it's not all that kind of stuff. It's different kinds of songs on here, and the sense of humour is really good. It's rare that you genuinely laugh when you listen to an album because something's actually really funny. That happened to me with this, so I've chosen one which made me laugh. It's a track called Target.
Couldn't work at Target, the only colour shirt I wear is blue. Couldn't work at Target, I'd stand around and think about you. I wish I never had to let you out of my eyes. Forget about it, I wrote it out 1,000 times. I'm ready to go out, 'cause this is all I wear now. I'm ready to go out, sometime, somewhere, somehow. At St. Andrew's Hospital, and I forgot what we really came here for. But now I feel as though I'm breaking my own heart.
The Goon Sax.
There's lots of stuff on here about pining after romantic relationships and things like that, which is, but when you couple it with humour, it works well.
Yep. And I think to do the proper music journalism, we should mention that the singer is the son of Robert Forster from the Go-Betweens. And it definitely sounds like he's listened to his dad's music, especially, the early stuff. So, but I think it's really cool the way you can hear the influence, but it still sounds, independently cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Very good. All right. We're up to Grant's number 5.
Number 5 is Warehouse from Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to play the track Exit Only.
Woo!
Warehouse. The album is called Super Low.
Yeah. This year, I also got into the side project of the bassist, which is called Stevie Dinner. And I think that made me sort of focus in on the bass parts, which I really like. Like there's just like a high level of musicianship from everybody in the band, but they also experiment with song structure and kind of more eccentric than usual vocal style.
Yeah, definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Warehouse. All right, Craig, what's number 4?
Number 4 is Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds with Skeleton Tree. Now, this is, well, I think the less said the better, really. We've covered it a lot, and it's incredibly sad subject matter and all stuff surrounding the album. But I think it's interesting, when I saw the film, One More Time with Feeling, I think it was called, it kind of gave me an insight into the way the band works. And with Nick Cave, I should have researched, this is very poor journalism, I should have researched the name of the guy, but he has this guy, musician, working with him, who does a lot of the work, putting the musical parts together. And you just appreciate the brilliance of that guy, really. And then also Nick Cave's lyrics, it shows you how he works to put those together. And so seeing on the inside like that, and then coupled with how a musician can use their art to come through times of trauma, I think it makes it an interesting album. And whether it will go on to be a classic in years to come, I don't really care, but I like it now, so that's all that matters. And this is what the outstanding track was, the one that Barrett picked when he was on.
Distant Sky.
Distant Sky.
Right?
So I haven't picked that again, just because it's already that will brings me to tears every time. But the one just after that, and closing out the album, is the title track, Skeleton Tree.
Sunday morning, skeleton tree. Oh, nothing is for free. In the window, a candle. Well, maybe you can see. Falling leaves thrown across the sky, a jittery TV, glowing white like fire. Nothing is for free. I call her right across the sea. But the echo comes back empty. Yeah, nothing is for free.
That's great. I think it might be, really highly regarded 10 or 20 years from now. It's quite an album. Like I think I mentioned before, it just knowing the story and how sad the whole thing was, and then just kind of sampling the album a little bit, I kind of didn't want to listen to it. It's like, this is just going to be too sad. But then when I made myself listen to it, I thought it was really good. So
Yeah, I'm glad you agree. Yeah, I'm not really one for. I don't know. I don't consciously avoid mainstream musical acts, but I guess I don't seek them out either. But sometimes, because I saw the film and it was interesting, it led me. When I saw the film, I thought this is going to be one of the great albums of all time. But I don't really, who really cares about that. But when you go and listen to it, it does stand up. It's very good.
yeah, I'm waiting for that film to get some kind of other release. They just did it for one night, right? Or just like a single show at one time in a bunch of locations. And
I think so.
It played in Madison for one night, then it was gone.
You see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Damn.
So,
Yeah, I think I've built it up possibly too much, but I think you guys would enjoy it just to see how these musicians go about their craft, if nothing else. It's shot in black and white, and it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Warren Ellis was the name of the guy, the composer, musician in the band.
All right. Very cool. That's Craig's number 4 album of the year. Grant, number 4.
Number 4, Double Bind by Trust Punks. Gonna play the track Leaving Room for the Lord.
Trust Punks from New Zealand.
Yeah, that album was sort of what I wanted from the most recent Preoccupations album. They switch back and forth between like being soft and being very aggressive, and that's one of the most aggressive points of the album. But I think it's really well done. They do dynamics very well. It's a well sequenced, put together album.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good variety on it. That song Beneath the Commons is just great.
Yeah, that's a fantastic song.
And I think it's also interesting because you can kind of hear the New Zealand sound influence, but then they're a little edgier and a little you know, post-punkier, I guess.
Totally. Mm.
Yeah. Very good. Trust Punks. That's Grant's number 4 album of 2016, which now is the time that we always say it's getting serious, even though it's been serious the whole time. But it's getting more serious now because we're up to Craig's number 3.
Yeah, these are the big hitters now.
Yep.
Well, we're going back to Canada, I think. Yeah, this is Nap Eyes. My journalism is really lacking here. I don't know where in Canada. It's not a very big country, so that's okay. Thought Rock Fish Scale was their album from this year. Let's have a track first, and then we can talk about it. I've chosen track 8, Trust.
Don't trust me. I got some things I need to tell you anyway. Sometimes I can hardly believe the way you don't believe what I say. Somebody look at me. Do I have a glass eyelid? Do I have a glass forehead? Can you see through it? You know, sometimes it gets so hard now. I don't know if you can see this. I can't figure out why I feel this way sometimes. Oh, tell me, do I have a glass eyelid? Oh, can you tell me?
Nap Eyes.
Now, this is one that an artist I came to thanks to a correspondent of the podcast.
Right. Yes.
Hopefully Will remember his name.
Was that David Zuger? Did he recommend Nap Eyes?
Yeah, mate, the guy who... Was it the same guy who wrote about the Chilean shoegaze?
Oh, maybe. Okay. That might be Roger Allen. See, now I'm
One
embarrassing
of those
myself.
two. Thanks to Roger and thanks to David. Anyway,
Yeah.
Either way.
Thanks to both you guys.
I think it was Roger, but oh well, I don't want to give credit where it's not due. Anyway, I think you and Barrett were skipping through a few of his recommendations, and you played a bit of track 7 of all of them, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
And I thought, hey, this sounds really good, and so I followed up on it, and it's brilliant.
that's cool.
It's good, kind of laid back-ish, country-ish indie, I guess. If that kind of describes it a bit.
Yeah, I only briefly listened to it. Probably never even all the way through the whole thing. Another one where I just didn't get the time, but sounds great. Very cool.
Yeah, I like the sound of that as well.
It's another one where I saw the band live, and it really opened it up even more because they're just quite charming. They're incredibly stoned when they came on, and they're really wide-eyed. I'm not a drug taker myself, but it just, for some reason, it was hilarious. These guys, for 4 Canadians just rocking away. That was cool.
You've seen almost every band on your list live, it seems like. That's just pretty amazing.
Well, I don't know. I missed the Goonsacks, unfortunately, but I can talk about one of the disappointments of the year if you like. Well, it would involve my number 1, so we should wait.
Okay. Yeah. We'll hear that disappointment coming up.
Yeah, after all the fun and excitement.
Right. Yep. All right. Hey, Grant, what's the third best album of 2016?
That would be Green Glass Room by Seattle band Vats. I've selected the track Uncanny Valley.
Vats.
Yeah, I got a chance to properly absorb this while driving down the coast of California with Will.
Yeah, you
and,
did.
that was a really enjoyable experience. So listening back, still like the album a lot. I missed a chance to see these guys live, but I did see the punk band called Lysol that the guitarist is a frontman for, and they were really solid. So they're on my list of bands to see live, without a doubt.
It definitely sounds retro in some respect, but I can't. Maybe Barrett could tell us the exact year that would take us back to. But
yeah, we do need Barrett, but it sounds a bit like X-Ray Specs, doesn't it? The vocal. I forget the singer's name. It's quite bad.
I didn't listen to X-Ray Specs very much. I mean, I heard him just kind of in passing.
Yeah,
but
so would it be late 70s, early 80s? But no, it sounds really good. I like that a lot.
Very good. All right, we're up to the top two. Craig, the number 2 album. And think for the number 2 album, they've got to be thinking, God, if only I hadn't gotten beaten out by this one album, I would be number 1. Right?
Yeah.
But then,
I think our number twos are the same, are they not, Will?
yes, right.
So they're so close on both counts.
Yeah.
This is Chuck Race from the Brooklyn of the Southern Hemisphere, and the album was Around the House. There's so much to like about this. I think every track, pretty much every track is great. I really like the guitar. It's kind of, perhaps someone more technical than me can describe what it's like, but it's almost like this stabbing away at it, quick motions across all of the strings at once, and ding, 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 kind of a jangly thing.
Yeah.
That's the best I can do.
That's a good description.
And it reminds me a lot of Comic Gain as well, one of my favourite bands from London, who are in turn influenced by the Go-Betweens. So you can see a lot of influence of the Go-Betweens in the music that I like. But I've chosen track 5, At Your Door.
That is an excellent pick. Chuck Race, Around the House.
Yeah, very good one.
That didn't really illustrate what I was talking about, but anyway, it's still great.
I think Grant and I were discussing that specific track, and we agreed it sounds a little bit like Royal Headache.
They do it well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Grant, what is number 2? The sad band that couldn't quite hit number 1 on your list.
The sad band is So Pitted. Gonna play the track Rot in Hell.
So Pitted. The album is called Neo. That's Grant's number 2.
Yeah, I have sort of like a recording engineer crush on the guy that recorded this, Dylan Wall. He also recorded Weed's album Deserve and the only Hausu album. And yeah, it's just produced super, super well, and I really, really like the songwriting. These guys are signed to Sub Pop now, and they have a KXP performance with a new song on it that's really good, so maybe their next album could even top my next year list. Who knows?
Wow, so there's some stuff
Feeling
to look forward
optimistic.
to. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have things to look forward to.
Yeah, as well as all this nostalgia and reminiscing about the year, it's good to look forward to the next year's lists.
Yes. Well, is it that time? I think it's that time, right?
Does someone have to run out of the room and do a drum roll, or we're not going to mess around like that?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because, listen to this. That's Nicholas's drum roll. I saved it.
Nice one.
He killed me on the drum roll. But I don't have a drum set right in the room here. He had one right in the room.
Gives him an advantage.
Yeah.
For sure.
Totally unfair advantage. But, plus he does know how to play the drums too, apparently. Nicholas is multi-talented. Just, little tiny layers of Nicholas's talents get peeled off each time. But, there's just a depth of incredible talent there that we've only tapped the surface of.
T-shirt model was the most recent.
Right. Exactly. Well, Craig, what's your
I'm taking a deep breath here.
Yeah, number 1 for 2016.
This is The Birds Outside Sang by Florist. Now, I think we'll discuss this on the podcast in January, which brought it to my attention, and it's something I've listened to probably every month throughout the year. It's stayed with me, and other things have been released, and I've listened to them and enjoyed them, but nothing has surpassed this. It's kind of twee and quiet. And a couple of people I've recommended it to said, nah, it's too quiet, and the songs don't really go anywhere. They just tail off too soon, but I couldn't disagree more strongly with that. It's one of those albums where I think to be number 1 on anyone's list, an album is going to have moments where when you listen to it more, you notice things which just didn't occur to you the first time. Little guitar flourishes and little, I don't know, the odd lyric here and there. And it's packed with stuff like that, even though it's quite a short, as I said, quiet album. So I've picked the title track, The Birds Outside Sing, or Sang indeed.
Florist. Yeah, that's a great one. The Birds Outside Sang.
There we go. Yeah, I don't have much more to say except recommend people to go and listen to it if you like the sound of that.
And it has a really great, kind of just self-produced quality about it, right? And it makes you think that they're going to have a lot more great music in the future, which is also cool.
Yeah. Sort of reminded me of Porches and Always, like the parts of those bands I really like. I'm probably going to check that out.
Yep. Yeah, you should. It's
Yeah,
excellent.
someone else said it sounded like Low and Blonde Redhead. I don't know Blonde Redhead, but Low I can see a similarity. So, yeah.
All right, Grant, what's the best album of 2016, bar none?
Yeah. Well, the best album of the year is actually an EP.
So you're
Breaking
definitely
the trend
yeah.
once again.
Yep.
It's Prime Example by Hellier Ulysses. And let's play the track The Science Behind.
Realize set conditions. One can't view in its soup. Each blossom decides its acrid scent. Dies!
That's Hellier. I have such a hard time saying this. I'm going to try it. Here we go. That's Hellier Ulysses from Atlanta, right?
That's correct, yeah. It just sort of it was something I heard the first single as like a live video on Vimeo, and that was the track Genesis is Dispersion. I probably listened to that like 30 times before the album came out, and then I listened to the album more than anything else this year. So I don't know, just really love it, and I think everybody else should listen to it too.
It's got this sort of free form sounding quality to it, right? Where you just don't know what's going to happen next. And there are moments where we've talked about this before, about how it's hard to have humor come across in music. But there are parts of this where something will happen and it just makes me smile.
Yeah,
right.
It's very diverse in terms of seriousness and stuff, and really dense. I've found a lot of like details in the songs listening for like, I don't know, the 20th time. And I hear 1 second of it that's like, oh shit, that's cool. Never heard that before.
That is excellent. So, well, you guys, those were some awesome top 10s. What else can I
really enjoyed Grant's list, particularly from 6 onwards or downwards. So I think there's some things there I'd definitely like to check out further.
Yeah,
Awesome.
You should. Yep. I think we're maintaining our high level of quality here. So
I think it's been superseded here, probably, today, hasn't it?
It could be, yeah.
Rather than maintaining.
Does that mean we're in like $1 or $2 worth for this podcast? Could be.
I think there's a chance. Bandcamp pay what you want value, at least.
Yeah.
Should add a PayPal donation thing to the site now.
So we've got 7 top 10s that we've done now, and I think they've been just really great. And we're thinking about Grant's brother Reese has a list of songs that he'd like to tell the listeners about, and Barrett's son Wilson apparently is compiling quite a list that we're hoping to talk about sometime in January, which could go beyond the scope of merely 2016. So we'll leave that as the preview. So it's been good. You have any parting to 2016 thoughts, Craig?
I was going to talk about my disappointment of the year, but I don't want to leave on a low. We should leave on the high of the 2 number 1 albums, really. Well, it was just I went on holiday to New York And I thought, we were only there for 6 days, so the chances of Florist and or Patio playing were probably quite slim. But because I follow them on Facebook and I can see that it seems to me like they're always playing, so I thought, well, surely at least one of them is going to be playing in that 6 day period, but they weren't, and which is probably quite understandable, really, but I was really sad about that. It would have been great to see them.
Yeah.
And since then, Patio have played about 10 times in New York in the last 3 months, but anyway.
Well, that's only a minor disappointment when you balance it with all the bands you've gotten to see. So,
yeah,
I mean, you're basically our primary live music scout. You travel much greater distances and times. We're just lazy. We just drive 10 minutes from our house.
Yep.
See a lot of things. So, well, anyway, 2017 is going to be great, right?
It couldn't be any worse than 2016. Well, musically, great as always.
Yeah.
Every year it seems to have great releases, but
Right.
politically it's been a terrible year.
Yeah, like everything other than music, it's been pretty much a terrible year. The music kept it alive, right?
Yes.
That's what we're gonna say.
Yeah, music gives you a place to go to. Well, sometimes to let your hair down and rock out, or sometimes to contemplate things. And yeah, it's good. Good on you, music.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we're gonna close out 2016, and we're gonna talk to everybody again in 2017 in probably in 2 weeks with another edition of Will's Band of the Week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
You can subscribe to the Will's Band of the Week podcast using iTunes or any other podcast app. All of our podcasts are also available directly on our webpage, willsband.net. You can contact us directly by email to willsband@yahoo.com, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter @willsband. The Will's Band of the Week podcast is brought to you every week from Fourth Bedroom Studios in Madison, Wisconsin. Our theme music was composed by Grant and performed by Grant and Will. Thanks for listening.